Oh, hello. Today, I am going to be sharing with you the books that I plan to read during the Reading Rush 2020. I kind of didn't want to do this readathon because my reading is very all over the place right now, but at the moment, I am in a very productive reading groove, and I'm hoping that I will continue this through the week of the Reading Rush. We'll see. I know that one of the most recent videos I posted was another TBR for a readathon, the Queer Lit readathon, and I didn't end up participating in that readathon at all. The week of that readathon obviously ended up happening the week immediately following George Floyd's murder, and living in Minneapolis, that was all I cared about. I was so focused on everything going on. But I'm hoping that I will be able to read during the Reading Rush, and I just felt weird not doing it, having participated in it pretty much the entire time I've had a booktube channel. Fingers crossed I actually am able to participate and maybe even vlog. We'll see. If you're not familiar with it for some reason, the Reading Rush is a readathon that used to be called Booktubeathon. It's very, very big, happens every summer, and there's always a lot of activities and participation and stuff to do. There are challenges, and there's a website, and you can earn badges for all the challenges you complete. So that's another incentive for me to participate. I really love those badges. So let's get into the TBR. I do want to complete all of the challenges because, like I said, I really like those badges. So I am hoping to complete everything. I have a few books that I've picked that cover the actual challenges of the readathon. And then I have some others to pad out the rest of my TBR because there's a bonus challenge of reading 7 books during the week. So I do want to try to read 7 books and accomplish that. So what I'm going to talk about first is actually I have 2 books that cover the exact same challenges, and I cannot decide between them. So what I think I'm going to do is maybe sample both of them during the week and see which one hooks me more, because I'm going to want to read a book that is fast-paced and that I'm really into. So the 2 books that I'm deciding between are The Disasters by M.K. England and The Sound of Stars by Alicia Dow. These books both cover 3 of the challenges. They cover the challenge of a book starting with the word the. They are both purple books, and there is a challenge that you are supposed to read a book with a cover the color of your birthstone, and I was born in February, so my birthstone is amethyst, which is purple. So both of these books have very amethyst colored covers. And then the final challenge that both of these cover would be to read a genre that you've been wanting to read more of. And when I saw that challenge, I immediately thought, I have to read a sci-fi book, because I feel like I've been saying for so long, I really want to get more into sci-fi, but I just haven't been picking up sci-fi as much as I have told myself that I should. So I thought this challenge was perfect for reading sci-fi. So both of these are sci-fi, both of them are purple, both of them start with the word the, so whichever one I choose, I will have the same challenges covered. Also, with them both being sci-fi, I do feel kind of daunted by that, so I feel a little bit more comfortable having 2 options, and if the sci-fi in one of them is really hard for me to get into, I'm hoping the other one will be a little bit better for me. So The Sound of Stars takes place, I think, on Earth, but it is after a third of the population has been wiped out by an alien attack, a few years previous to the beginning of the book, and music and art is illegal now, so it's kind of a sci-fi dystopian. And the main character has a secret library where she has her own art and music that she listens to, and she has to team up with an alien in order to save humanity or something like that. So we'll see how it goes. I've heard pretty positive things about this book, so it looks good. And then The Disasters is touted as The Breakfast Club meets Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it takes place on a space station, but at an elite academy. So I always love that in books, and I think that the characters are kind of all high schoolers, and they get into a bunch of trouble at their space station academy, and it just sounds very, very fun. So potentially, if I really like both of these, I could end up reading both of them, and then I might knock a different book off my TBR, or I could potentially read 8 books in the week, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, one of these 2 books is gonna be my first pick. So the next challenge that I needed to knock off was the challenge to read a book that inspired a movie that you've already seen. So for this, I decided to go with The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. This is a classic children's novel. I think everyone is familiar with The Wizard of Oz. It is about Dorothy traveling through this magical realm, meeting friends along the way. She wants to meet the Wizard of Oz. I don't think I ever read this book as a child, so it's something I've kind of been like low-key meaning to do for a long time, especially children's classics. I really tend to enjoy. I love hearing the foundational stories that inspired a lot of movies that I have seen, such as The Wizard of Oz. But I've never read the original source material, so I hope to do that during this week. The next challenge that I need to complete is to read a book that takes place on a different continent than the one you live on. So for that one, I have picked a middle grade book. It is called Tree of Dreams by Laura Rousseau. So this is about a girl who, I think her parents own a chocolate shop, and there's been a delay with like the chocolate production or something. There's some sort of issue that they're having with the chocolate supply, and they actually take a trip to do something to do with the chocolate production. I believe that this book has like a very strong environmental element to it. I think that it is really trying to show kids like the destruction of the Amazon rainforest and talk about like ethical sourcing of food and ingredients, and the way that consumerism in the United States is really negatively affecting like the environmental landscape of lots of other countries that we don't really think about. And I'm just so ready to read a book with those messages. I really love that. I am excited to read a book that takes place in South America. I'm just really excited about this one. I've been reading a lot of middle grade fiction this year. You already know that like I love middle grade fiction. I already read a lot of it, but I feel like I've been reading even more middle grade than usual in 2020, and I've been thoroughly enjoying my time reading middle grade books. So love that for me. Very excited about this one. So the next challenge that I have to complete is to read the first book you touch. So I haven't picked my book for this yet because I wanted to show you guys me picking the first book that I touched. I have gone to my graphic novel shelf and I've picked out a huge stack of books that I have not read yet. So I have these right here. Let me scoot you down a little bit. I guess right now I'm just gonna close my eyes and like reach out and touch one of the books in this stack, and whichever one I touch will be my book. Oh, okay, I'm touching one. Oh, okay. I don't know if you can even see that, but the first one I touched was Slow Storm by Danica Novgorodoff. Cool. Okay, so Slow Storm takes place during tornado season. This is following a firefighter and a Mexican immigrant in their relationship during a natural disaster. I can show you a little preview of what the art looks like. Very exciting. All right. So this is my next pick. And then the last challenge is to read a book completely outside of your house. So I'm not choosing a specific book for this. It could be anything. I might maybe take this graphic novel somewhere and lay down and read with it outside. Otherwise, I might just pick one of my audiobooks and just listen to it outside, maybe on a dog walk or something. We'll see. So the rest of my TBR is just to hit 7 books because I do want to read 7 books during the week. So I have a couple YA contemporaries because I just love them and tend to fly through them, so they're really great for readathons for me. We have Camp by L.C. Rosen. This takes place at a summer camp for queer teens, and I believe it follows them as they put on a musical. So, hello. This is such a perfect book for me. I'm just ecstatic about this. What could be better? Literally nothing. I'm so excited. Absolutely perfect, tailored to my interests. Wow, can't wait. And then the other YA contemporary I've picked is one that I've just been seeing everywhere lately. It's so hyped right now. There's a lot of buzz around this book, and it is You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. And this is about a girl who decides that she wants to be prom queen because you get a scholarship from it. So she starts campaigning to be prom queen, even though she is not the expected type at her high school to be prom queen. It just looks very cute, very fun. I've heard just the most happy, wonderful things about it. So yeah, I'm expecting this one to be a very fun time. And then the last book that I have chosen, I decided to just go with a children's picture book because I like kids' picture books. I read and review them on this channel fairly regularly. I just want to read a picture book that's going to take me 5 minutes to read and count it as one of my 7 books in order to get that challenge done. Do not judge me. So the book that I have chosen is Amy Wu and the Perfect Bow by Kat Zhang, and this is just a cute little illustrated children's picture book about this girl who wants to make the perfect bow, and she keeps messing it up, and it just looks so cute. Like, how could you not want to read this? I love anything to do with food, and I love books where authors are able to kind of share like their cultural background, especially when it's something that's different from my own and I can learn from it. So that is my final book on my TBR for the Reading Rush 2020. Let me know if you're participating and what you're reading, and if you've read any of the books on my TBR, what you thought about them. I will see you guys again, maybe with my wrap-up and or vlog for this readathon at the end of the week. Let's hope it works out. But yeah, I will see you guys soon. Thank you. Bye.